Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Sam Olade in this series. On here today I have my beautiful sister, Esther, and we're going to be talking about what we talk about normally, how to settle in, because we're not discussing how to come in. If you've already come in, how to settle in faster and better. And for those who have been here for quite a while and are still struggling, how to navigate your way out of whatever it is that you're actually going through and get better, do better. Okay? Thank you guys and welcome along. Hello.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for doing this with me. I really appreciate it. Can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name is Esther Adeshina. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a tax professional, and I'm also a lawyer. Simple.
Fantastic. The tax professional.
Yeah.
I'm still going to bring some tax things to you because HMRC has sent me one letter.
Everyone always send a letter.
HMRC sent me one letter. I don't know how to reply them because
let's leave that for
another time.
No problem. Yes. So I advise various individuals on their tax affairs, basically. Personal tax affairs.
Fantastic. Have you always been doing that before coming in here?
So while in Nigeria, I was a lawyer. Okay. I was a barrister and solicitor. So I was mostly practicing law, litigation, going to court and all. But tax has always been a desire. And so I decided to come into the UK, study a master's in tax law. And from there, I branched into the tax field. And over 8 years now, coming up to 9 years, I've been working as a tax advisor.
You came to get your master's in tax?
Yes.
You've already had that in mind before leaving Nigeria?
Yes.
Wow. You must have a knack for books and numbers.
Not really. I think the knowledge of the law helping was what really fueled my passion. But obviously now starting to work in tax, I gradually learned to love the numbers. Because with the numbers and using the law as a tool, it's one thing for me to tell you, oh, the law says do A plus B and then you get C. But if I actually pull up the numbers and show you, oh, if we do it A, this is what you get. If you do it B. So I learned to love the numbers because most art students won't like maths. But as we have it, I'm working in that field today and I'm enjoying it.
It makes it more practical when you explain to people.
With numbers. Yes, that's right.
That's very key.
Thank you.
So, what year did you come in?
So I came in 2016. January makes it 10 years. January 26 makes it 10 years.
A decade already?
Yeah.
How has it been?
Oh, God has been faithful. That's what I would say. Like I mentioned, I came in to do my master's in Bournemouth University. That was January 2016. So I came in, did my master's. The master's was 16 months, if I remember correctly. So I finished by June or May 2017. Did my graduation, but I started working in June 2017. So I got my first tax job as soon as as soon as I submitted my dissertation. I got my first official job, and then it has been from one company to another. But obviously, as a student, I did various kind of jobs. Some jobs were to pay the bills. Some jobs were to build experience. Some jobs were to help me understand the system. Because like I said, coming in, obviously you would think, oh, as the time I came in, the Naira started dying. So the big money that I thought I left Nigeria with by January, before the end of January, wasn't anything. So I knew by February, I had to start getting something to help me pay the bills. And thankfully, my husband had come in as a student 2 years before me. So he kind of understood the ropes, what we needed to do. So as soon as I came in, even before I came, I was already ringing it in my ears. You're going to work. You're going to work. And I was like, okay. So by the time I came in, obviously trying to get a job in law was practically impossible at that moment. Yes, because the legal system, although the UK legal system was quite similar to the Nigerian system, it was more like, as at then, it was more like you're restarting your journey afresh. So you had to do various things. And I didn't want to even, probably doing law in Nigeria had gotten me tired. So I just wanted a fresh start and all. So I started doing menial jobs. I worked in restaurants, cleaning tables, serving customers. I also did, that was at an Indian restaurant. I did that where I was paid way below the minimum wage. but it didn't matter because I was just keen to get something doing. I also did like a security kind of job. It was called Shosec. where I had to go and do like event stewards, events under the
Oh
rain.
my God.
You with your freezing fingers
Oh
right
my
there in the
God.
middle of winter. Yes, so I had to do that. You will control traffic. No one cares whether you're a lady. What a man can do, you could do it as well, as long as you wanted to get your money. So we would stand in the cold winter, just a cup of coffee just to keep you warm, and that would be long shifts. I also went on to do like a steward serve at events. So up to 12 midnight, I'm washing plates, serving various people that you are way older than in age, in experience, in everything. But yes, we had to do it just to get the bills. So in the middle of running these three jobs, I also still had to volunteer with Citizens Advice. Now, Citizens Advice was quite similar to my background as a lawyer.
Okay.
So I was doing Citizens Advice, not getting paid. But the good thing is most volunteering agencies and all, they're happy for you to come in 1 hour, 2 hours, whatever you can do and all. And so all this was still within my 20 hours allowance as a student. So whether I work this job 4 hours today, I work this other job the next week, another 4 hours. And then in the middle of everything, probably each week, I would just have to sneak out either 1 or 2 hours just to volunteer because I needed that volunteering experience to then be able to get a professional job later on, which by God's grace, everything worked out. Doing the non-palatable job wasn't quite rosy, but I think the fact that I had a goal in mind, I knew where I was going. And so even nights, I remember one night where at 12 midnight, after I'd been on a 12-hour shift, serving people at a wedding, carrying plates, washing plates in the cold water and all. And then this young lady that I'm sure maybe I was 7 years older than by then comes to tell me, oh, underneath the sink is not clean. Oh, I wept. As a 12 minute when my back was aching me. I had been on 12-hour shift. And you know, at that moment, you start questioning yourself, God, is this what you brought me into this country to come and do? So I wept, and at that moment I cried to God that don't let me suffer in vain in this country. And so I thank God because God was really faithful that as soon as I submitted my dissertation, I started a professional job in the kind of field I wanted. So I was grateful to God. So in a nutshell, that was how it was. But obviously there is more in 10 years.
You had to do the menials to pay the bills and everything.
Yep.
Now, the first thing that came to my mind is the volunteering.
Yeah.
Is it supposed to be part of the hours?
Yes.
The 20 hours?
Yes. It's meant to be.
Even if you're not getting paid?
Yes, even if you're not getting paid, because you are. The law says you can only work 20 hours. Although many of those volunteering agencies, they won't necessarily say, oh, let me have your maybe student code or anything. No, they wouldn't. All they were just on about, okay, you want to volunteer with us, you want to help us and all, come in and all. So it was all meant because the UK government's goal in giving you a visa is to come and study. So even if, for example, you are helping the NHS with your, let's assume you are working 40 hours with the NHS, it breaches the terms of which you've been given the visa. So the volunteering is meant to be part of the 20 hours.
Wow.
So it's you that has to plan yourself to make sure you don't breach that rule.
Yes, 20 hours.
Yeah.
While doing all of that, what was the frame of mind like? Because what I've noticed people do here is while they're trying to pay the bills, they get stuck in paying those bills. And the plan they actually have,
you put it aside.
So what was the frame of mind like, and how? Because the frame of mind will determine if you will stick to your plan or.
Okay, I think for me, number one, not wanting to go back to Nigeria. Not wanting. I don't know. For other people out there, maybe your parents or your family, maybe they are politicians, and you all have all this money back home in Nigeria. I knew where I came from. I knew going back to Nigeria, and like I said, I was tired of the Nigerian legal system. Fine, I was working in Lagos, but it was stressful, it was hectic. As a lawyer, I would have to wake up 5 a.m. just to get to Obalende and all. Like, it was rough, it was hectic. And even prior to that, I served in Delta State, Asaba. So I knew the experience I'd gone through in 1 year, coupled with the months of working in Lagos. And the whole journey, like, I was tired of Nigeria. So coming into this UK, I knew, come what it may, I don't know how God is going to make the way, but Nigeria is a no-no. Nigeria is a no going back. No, I can never go back. So that was number one thing that fueled me, that in every way, God, you just have to open the door for me in this land. So number one, the decision not to go back was
Okay.
priority in my mind. And so everything I was doing, that helped me not to get lost. For example, while I was washing plates, I knew there was more to me by God's grace. How can God carry me to be going to courts in Nigeria, and then God did not bring me to this land to come and be washing plate? No. So I knew the God that brought me here. And also before coming, there were conversations. I'm grateful for my background, my faith, because there were conversations I had with God. There were things I told God, and there were things God told me to do. So there were times I had to sow a seed. So I reminded God that, oh, this and this were the things we spoke about. So even when all evidences were not looking like it, I don't know how, but I knew God was not going to let me down. So having that focus that, okay, I'm not going back, rather I've come here to move forward, helped me. And that's why even while I was serving dishes, while I was washing plates, while I was ordering traffic, I knew this was not the end goal. So that really helped me to keep focus. And also probably having parents that constantly sang it in your ears that they've spent money on you. So Lord, we didn't send you abroad to go and be making stipends. No. And probably this concept of black tax as well helped me, because you know you have people depending on you back home. So you can't afford, because if I'm making, maybe I'm earning below minimum wage, how do I feed myself? How do I feed the people that are waiting for me to send something back home? We can't all say, oh, I'm going to turn my back on them. I'm not going to entertain any request and all. The fact is, there are people that look up to you. There are people that will bring you out of the blues. There are people that they will have circumstances that will warrant you just helping out. So the fact that I needed to have more than enough. So it wasn't just about having bare minimum. No, more than enough. By God's grace, to be able to bless others, to be able to take care of yourself, to be able to look good. Those were the things that really kept me focused on what I was looking for.
Wow. One thing I've noticed in everything you've said, that is the major thing, is the God factor.
Yeah.
So in all of this, the God factor is number one.
Number one, very vital.
Wow. If you guys have noticed, everybody I've spoken with, the number one thing they actually mention is the God factor. So if you actually want to make a headway, just keep that in mind. God first.
Yeah.
So you were able to navigate through all of that, all of those challenges. Now, entering into your desired career, what are the challenges you faced, and how were you able to overcome them?
Okay. So as at the time I came in, we didn't have the whole concept of post-study visa.
Okay.
We didn't have that concept. So I knew, okay, if you're going to stay back, you have to find a job that would sponsor. Unfortunately, the threshold then was quite high. And like I said, finding a career, for example, in the legal field was not going to be a rosy journey. So I knew that one was even a no-no. Fine, probably there were companies or there were law firms, mostly in London then, that could sponsor, but also getting into it wasn't so rosy and all. So I knew, okay, to find a job in tax, but then the salary requirement was quite high. And me that was just coming in as a beginner into the tax field, it was going to be very difficult, because many of the tax companies then that were sponsoring, it was more like they were even sponsoring graduates. You go through the graduate scheme, So children that by the grace of God you are older than you have experience, because you are coming as a lawyer, you're a professional. So I didn't want to, all of us going to be carrying food out together. No, that was not what I wanted. So I didn't know how it was going to happen. But thankfully, my husband and I, before I came in, we already knew where we were going. We're fiancés then, so that anyone, but we knew our journey, we knew what we were going to do. So, okay, we realized, okay, what if we made things official? We got married. I became his dependent. And then that way we were able to buy time. Now, that wasn't the end goal. The end goal was to still find a company that could sponsor either of us. So my visa was granted for, was it about 20 months thereabout, for me to do my course in 16 months and all. So within the first 6 to 7 months, we got married, and then my husband became my dependent. And then with him being my dependent, he was not restricted by any student clause and all. So he was able to find a job. But the journey too was rough, because at a point, the company said, oh, they can't sponsor you because the salary threshold again, it was still high. And that was despite being like a government agency, they couldn't sponsor him. So we were thrown into, okay, trying to buy time again, trying to find time. Now, I did mention previously, God is a vital aspect of that journey, because in my local church then in Bournemouth, in all honesty, I did not go to church looking for somebody to sponsor us or looking for, I was just a believer that loved my God and I was ready to serve God in any capacity. And miraculously, there was this person that said, oh, I know Sister Esther. Sister Esther is diligent, da, da, da. And so in the midst of, I think someday I was just serving, doing my usual duty in church, but I was crying because I knew the deadline was looming. We either had to find, my husband too was trying everything possible to get a company to sponsor, and all. My company could not sponsor. They told us outright they didn't even have the license to sponsor.
Okay.
So time was running, and then I was just doing what I would do on a normal Sunday. But this person saw my countenance was really sad. And in all honesty, I did not even open up to start crying. So my husband was not around that Sunday. So the person was like, what's going on? And before I know, because obviously you know what you said, I don't want to go back to Nigeria. I know the circumstances that we were going through. I know everything that was happening. So I was just weeping. And this person was like, what's going on? And one thing led to the other. Apparently, the person's company is able to sponsor.
Wow.
And still again, God factor.
Wow.
God factor. Because if I was not serving God, if I was not in God's presence at that moment, if I did not have a pure heart of service, if probably, I had this mindset of, I'm not going to Nigerian church, or I'm not going to relate with anyone, I don't know what our story would have been by now. And miraculously, it was this person that came on board, decided to sponsor my husband. I became his dependent, and the rest is history today.
Wow.
So many times I ask myself, if God did not order our journey, I think by now I would have been back to Nigeria.
The God factor still, that's really profound. Okay, so the number one challenge you faced was the sponsorship.
Yep.
How about the challenges at work? Was there any form of challenges, like because you came in from another country or stuff like that? Was there anything, and how were you able to overcome them?
So probably I will start with the challenges of when I was a student.
Okay.
Obviously, as a student, you're trying to understand the old system. It's a different world entirely from where you're coming from. And again, it's important that you have to humble yourself. Because if I came in with the mentality of, do you know who I am? I'm a barrister, I'm a lawyer. They are going to drag you on the floor. Because these are children that you are way, way older than. We're talking of 16, 17. You're talking of an 18-year-old as a manager. So God had to humble me. So that was the beginning of my journey. Because God now humbly helped me to ask questions, not to come into the system feeling like I know. Do you know who I am? Like, no. You have to, I don't care, even if you were a CEO back in Nigeria, I don't care if you're a general manager back in Nigeria, coming into the system requires you humbling yourself. Now, humbling yourself doesn't mean looking down on yourself or carrying yourself with low self-esteem. No. Having that goal in mind, okay, I'm just here for a short while. I'm just here to learn what I need to rule the system. So coming in with that mentality helped me a lot. And so even when I saw these young stars, like obviously this is their land, this is what they know. Many times you have to ask questions, excuse me. And that's the good thing. Many of them, they're approachable. They can answer your questions. So even as a student, I didn't come with the mindset of I knew it or no. I came like I didn't even know anything. So many times when they're even talking to you, they're like, your English is that good. And in my mind, I'm like, you think back home where we're coming from?
Not good.
Thank you. In my mind, like, you think in Nigeria we don't speak English? I was just said, really? Thank you. That's what I was saying. So many times I would ask them questions. Now, there was that unspoken bias many times because you look all around. As the time I came in, we're not this many. I couldn't really see people of my color. Probably the first 3 organizations I worked for, even professionally, I was the only black. So you look in a whole hall, probably would have conferences up till 2018. Probably the current firm where I work with now is the first place I've even seen people of my color. And that's just in the last 3 years. But so for the first 6 to 7 years, imagine you go to work, it's just you at your desk. Your food is different, it smells different, you're eating, you're warming your food, and people are acting like, what is she warming? What is she eating? Do you understand? So there was that unspoken bias. There are people that will warm up to you. There are people like, your color is enough, like, I don't even want to relate with you. Even as a student in class, probably a teacher says, pick up your colleagues, form a group. Everyone is already forming their group, and then you're just sitting there, like, just looking. But God, again, being good, despite all the caucuses or groups they will form, you that maybe it's only you, one Ghanaian, one South African that formed your own group, you guys end up having the best.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand? So in the midst of everything, again, eyes on the goal. I didn't allow. There were days where it felt lonely. There were days, thankfully, I had my husband where I could moan, cry, tell everything. But you wipe your tears again, shoulder up the next day. You had the unpalatable weather, having to walk. We didn't have car. We didn't have anything. Having to walk in the cold to work, and then you get to work. Some people are acting. So there was that bias because obviously every organization will not come out to say, "Oh, we don't support blacks." No, everybody will claim we are diverse, inclusive, equality, and all. But underneath the frame, we know what is going on. So I faced the bias of being the only one, being the only person of color, not really having. I didn't even have friends at work. No. After work, I have my friends, my husband, family members in Newcastle, because we're not based in Newcastle then. So I didn't go to work with the mindset of I had friends. I didn't have, because everybody, and then their own way of life was totally different. Probably after work, they say they are going to pub. I don't drink. Exactly. I don't drink. So things like that makes you feel ostracized. Like if you really want to blend in, then many times you have to adapt to their own way of life, which wasn't my kind of way of life. So things like that, the unpalatable weather, feeling lonely, feeling like you are being overlooked many times. But in the midst of it all, we had to learn to find our voice. And so I thank God today. I'm in a better organization today where I can look around me, I can see Nigerians, I can see other nationalities, and I can even see people that, oh, we can just, I see people that even want to learn more about my culture. Oh, I like your hair. How many hours did it take you to make it? Oh, I like your food. So the world is changing now. It wasn't like that years back.
Yes.
Nobody would want to relate with you, but we live in a world today where your neighbor is even like, oh, let me try your food. So those are the challenges I faced. Yeah.
After these challenges and overcoming them, at what point did you think, okay, Esther, to the glory of God, you have settled in. Now, what is the next things? At what point did you have that feeling?
I can't really say it's at this point, because for us, every immigration challenge that we overcame propelled us to say, okay, fine. For example, let's say the UK government sets the salary threshold, let's assume then at 35,000. And then miraculously, we get money together, we're able to pay our HS fee, We did not sit on it to say, okay, now we have 3 years. No. Always having this mindset that the UK government changes immigration rules anyhow.
Like their weather.
Thank you. In a year, different things can come out. So we did not, after we got each, maybe, what was it called, BRP, we did not feel like, okay, we had 3 years to play now. No, we didn't feel that, oh, we have settled. No, we didn't feel that way. But rather, it was even an encouragement to say, right, let's apply for the next job that will pay us more, that will give us a better environment. And for everyone that is working, I would expect you to have goals. I would expect you to have objectives, your own personal objectives. So, for example, if you're working in this career, are you there to learn something? So, if I pegged it that I want to learn something from this particular company in 6 months, so that I'm then able to apply to, let's say, one of the big 4 companies in that field, then I knew where I was going. So, I didn't see it after each time to say, okay, you have arrived, you have settled. No, I didn't carry that mindset. And even after we even had the ILR, went on to have the British citizenship, no, there is still more, and we're still aspiring for more. So even if immigration-wise we are settled, we are here in this country to eat all the goodness that God has prepared for us. Yes, and so anything can change. Like the budget was out last week now. All kinds of nonsense were said there. So we have not arrived, though, by the grace of God. We are still aspiring for more. And all the goodness that the Lord has prepared for us in this land, we will eat of it. So we've never, my husband and I have never had that mindset of, okay, we now have the British Pali, let's now start playing up, and I know we're still aspiring for more. We're still applying for jobs, higher paying jobs, next level opportunity, that comfort, because we didn't come to this country to slave. So we never have the mindset of, oh, I want to walk around the clock. No, that's not what God brought us here for.
Wow, that's fantastic. Okay, so now to our main question. If with all the knowledge I have already gathered, if you're just coming into the country today, however, whatever means it is, what are the steps you will take to settle in faster and better?
Okay, whether as a student or whether as a worker, community is very vital.
Community,
because like I said, You look at yourself at work and you are the only person of your color. So if you are not, for example, whether you're a Muslim or you're a Christian, you're not going to church, you're not going to a mosque where you can find similar people, you're going to suffer. Because the UK is built sometimes to be lonely. You have seasons, you have, for example, Christmas is coming up. On Christmas Day, all shops close up. Everybody sits. Even everywhere you are tied down. So building the community. So I came in back in Nigeria, I was attending a Redeemed church. So I knew, okay, and like I said, my faith is a very fundamental part of me. So coming, obviously, thankfully, the first church I attended, they were warm, they were welcoming and all. So even if, for example, your first church you go to in the UK, you don't feel being welcome, there are 1,000,001 other churches. Find your community. Because let me tell you, the first group of people you meet when you come into this country, they have a vital role to play. If you meet people that they are just here to, for example, they are not keen about qualifying 5 years, getting ILR, you will slave away. If you meet people that they are just here, once I earn the pounds, I convert it to Naira. As long as it's taking care of the house back home, it doesn't matter again. So the community is a very vital aspect. Look for and not just about joining community of time wasters. By God's way, look for people, even if it will take you time to find that community, make sure you are deliberate. Now, also, finding a community is not just about taking from people. And that's something I've seen in recent years. The trend I'm seeing from many migrants is not about, for example, what can I get from Bro Sam? No, rather, what can I contribute? Many times we are so laid back. It's all about, for example, I'll go to that church so that they can help us, sponsor us. No. What can you contribute? Because it's what people see that they are willing to add to. So if you're someone that, for example, your community, you're always fighting with people, or you are so proud, pompous, you look down on others. Oh, do you know how many houses I have back home in Nigeria? Who are you to talk to me? Who is that to talk to me in that church? Your journey will be long, bro. Your journey will be long. So the community, giving back to that community is really vital. Now, sometimes you may need to, I'm trying to think of the right word. Sometimes you may need to bury your pride. Sometimes you may need to put aside some so-called achievements that you may have had just for the benefit of the longer goal. So coming in, whether as a student again or whether as a worker, forget whatever you may have had. I'm not saying you should forget your achievements or career journey. No. If the system, for example, you come in, maybe back in Nigeria, you had PhD, and then the system is telling you to function at that level that you were back in Nigeria here in the UK, you need to learn A, B, C, D. Please quickly start the journey.
Start learning it.
Start learning it. Learning is really vital. Back home, our people were so used to, I will pay you to do it for me. But the system is DIY. You do it yourself. So be ready to learn. Don't just go to any environment, whether job, whether anywhere, I'm just here to get my money and get out. No. Look, it's from relating, and it's all this so-called, maybe the receptionist as your place of order may have a vital information.
Yes.
And so if you're going there pompous, looking down on others, you will miss out on so many things. So if I was to come in now, I'm here first to learn. I will never act like I know anything. I'm here looking for a community that I can add to, and that way I'll be able to learn something out from. I'm here looking for opportunities. So volunteering is vital. Volunteering is vital. So even, for example, if, for example, you back home in Nigeria, you were the matron of an hospital and you find yourself doing care now, please start finding out what are the things I need to do to find myself. There are GP trainings, there are nursing courses. It's important for you to learn something so that you get yourself back to wherever you were or where God is taking you to. Don't read, and then don't see whatever situation that you are in now as the totality of your journey.
Okay.
Many people come in, for example, you start doing care and then you get lost into that. No, there is more to you. There are opportunities that are bound in the UK. But if you don't reach out, if you're not keen to look out for those situations or solutions, you won't find them. If all the people you are rolling with are people that are not bothered about it, you will all sit in that same circle. If a circle is no longer adding value to you, be keen to step out of it and look for a value-adding circle. Even sometimes it may require you relocating. Please relocate out of that place just to get your sanity. There are people that they were well-established professionals back home, and then you came in, everybody saying, there's no job, and that's the chorus you are singing up and down. But unfortunately to you, right under your nose, there's so many opportunities abounding. But if all we are just concerned is, I just want to get my pay and get out, we are missing out of it. So those are the few things I would say. Find a community, be ready to humble yourself, be willing to learn, and be ready to give back to others. It goes a long way.
You mentioned relocating now.
Yeah.
I've had a conversation with quite a number of people who have said some people come in and the first place they go is London. Your journey is going to be long. Why? Because expenses and everything.
That's right.
What do you have to...
I agree as well, because now your reason for going to London, it may be, for example, it's a family member that brought you in, and that's where, but then God did not tie your destiny to that family member. Probably your breakthrough is in Scotland, whether your breakthrough is in Newcastle. The cost of living in London is very, very high. It's very, very high. So probably you are there slaving away in London, but meanwhile, God has ordained you maybe in the next 2 years to have your own property. You are there living in a cubicle in London. Cost of living in London is very high. And then the market in London is flooded. Everybody is in London. But it may be in somewhere in Leeds or even a remote village. We've lived in remote villages in this country in the name of finding job. We have.
Wow.
And that's why I said at every immigration point, we didn't feel like we had arrived. Fine. We had somebody sponsoring and all. That gave me the freedom to apply for jobs as many as possible. So we've lived in Taunton, villages that you never villages that Taunton did not have a rapid bus system.
Sounds like
village. Thank you. Village. And from Taunton, so we've moved. My husband has lived in remote villages in the name of
my God.
But it was all for a short time. We knew where we're going. We had our goal in mind. And so be ready to make yourself uncomfortable, even if it's for a short while. For example, your husband is the one that got his care sponsorship. He came in. My darling wife, don't be so laid back to think, back home in Nigeria, your husband was the one providing. No, in this country, forget about, I don't care whatever, if your husband was the breadwinner back home in Nigeria. In this country, and thankfully, children did not come into the picture until years after. So it was just my husband and I that were roughing everything together because we had a goal in mind. We knew what we were looking for. And so we didn't go on holiday. If you can afford it, glory be to God. I'm not downplaying or condemning anyone. But at the same time, don't let anybody oppress you by social media. If it requires you even deleting your social media account, please do. Because many times we are trying to show or oppress people that are back home. And many times we forget the goal.
The goal.
So if it's for you to shut down a social media account just to help you focus, you don't need to oppress or impress anybody. I don't care what anybody back home is thinking. They are suffering. Good luck to you. So sometimes it's you that know. Let people think whatever you can afford, you can't afford it. Let people think whatever they want to think. There is let the roles be reversed. It doesn't matter. As much as both of you are trying to settle in, it's important for you to just let go of any baggage, let go of any proud mindsets that you have that I can't do this, I can't. Be willing for the sake of settling in. If God directs your path to relocate from London, please relocate. God does not necessarily tie your destiny down to London. There are so many expensive regions in the UK that your journey will be longer to settle in. But you go to a different city, you are paying less rent, less bills, you have a better community. Why not do that?
Why not just move? There's
nobody that says, it's only London you can make it in the UK. No. There are many other regions where you can make it. As at the time we were in Bristol for a while, and then we relocated from Bristol to Newcastle. That was back in 2020 in the middle of COVID. And I look back now, like if we didn't leave when we left, what will our story be now? What will we be saying? So sometimes when God opens the door, let's be quick to take the door. I'm not telling you to feel peaceful or rosy or comfortable or convenient. But as long as it's God that opened that door, God that sent you, trust Him to hold you through. It will be rough. The journey to settlement will be rough. Even if you believe your father had the billions and so he came into the UK with so much billions of naira or pounds, the journey will be rough. But as long as you have that goal in mind that we are here to stay, we are here to enjoy the goodness of the Lord, keep hoping, keep your faith alive. God will surely settle you. I can testify that.
Wow. Thank you very much. Guys, if you have stuck with us this far, thank you very much. I really appreciate your commitment and support. Thank you very much. And till my next video, I say Odabo.
Thank you.
Ma, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank
you. That's really profound. So basically, whatever it is we do, God first, and learn to follow His direction at all times.
Yeah.
Because it's those directions that would actually lead you to where He wants you to be.
That's right.
And sometimes you feel like where we want to be is where we want to go. But where you want to be, you have not even seen it. The one that has seen it is telling you that's not where I'm
I know. I think many times, bless you, many times people are still stuck. Obviously, I know you've lived in Nigeria over 30 years, over 40 years and all. And so I don't expect things to change in 2 years. I know. But you cannot expect, for example, 5 years after in this land, it's still all about UK. You don't even know anything about the news. You don't know anything about the politics. You don't know the rules, the things that will favor you. You are not interested in it. Boy, Bella Nigeria, Linda Ikeji, every irritating news that is trending in Nigeria is you that knows it. Your social media is like, how do you expect to go forward? God told Moses and he said, go forward. So if we keep looking back, I'm not saying we should abandon Nigeria. No. We still have family back home there. We still keep in touch with everyone. But your goal is to keep looking forward if you want to settle in this country and be ready to be inconvenienced. It's all for a short time. But many times there are people, you don't want any form of discomfort. For example, your husband is the one slaving, joining 3 jobs, 4 jobs. You as the wife, you're going to suffer. Or you're saying, no, me, I cannot go and do this, so let him only go and do this. You will see sometimes, and this, to be honest, these are practical things, conversations. Yes. You are like, the man is there, joining 3, 4 jobs. You are there, forming queen. You can't be stressed. Your journey is going to be long.
After everything, you that want to buy a dress. You that want to buy.
Thank you. And then sometimes you see women, oh, if you know what I'm going through. I know, but it's just for a short while. It's for a short while. You go help all of us.
Amen. Each time I hear something like that, the first thing that comes to my mind is where the Bible says, one will chase 1,000.
2. 10,000 to flight.
2 people can chase 20,000 in a space where 2 other people are chasing 2,000.
Yes.
The gap is high, especially if you put million at the back. 2 million and 20 million. There is a big difference.
And many times people won't speak up. They won't relate to people. You say, no, I'm not going to a Nigerian church. Or no, I'm not dealing with these people. Your journey is going to be long. It's going to be long.
Okay.
Community is really vital. And it's not all about, oh, what can I get from RCN? No. What can you add back? What are you? Because let me tell you, people are watching. There are people that hold the key to your solution. But if all you are doing is, I dash into church, I leave, I'm not relating with anybody. When that day of trouble arises, who will rally around you? Who are you going to call on? Who are you? Is it your white neighbor that doesn't even talk to you that you want to call?
They don't even know you.
It doesn't know you.
You
so
need to introduce yourself when you see
you have to be intentional. Even if you claim, sometimes we have first timers come to church and say, nobody talked to me in 6 months. Who have you talked to? In 6 months, nobody is talking to you, and you sitting there.
And you come in every 6 Sundays.
6 Sundays. I'm telling you.
Yeah, what have you been doing?
I'm telling you, these are real people. Even if they don't say hello, you have to say hello. You hear pastor announce to go to the dining, and these people from the church has click. They ask, okay, you from your own click. It is well.
It is well. It is well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, man. Thank you so much.